I'm the oldest of four. I have three younger siblings. The four of us are CODAs, so children of deaf adults, which means we grew up with deaf parents. So I learned sign language, American Sign Language, before English. I was 17, I graduated high school. I wanted to go somewhere other than where I'd been living my whole life. So I ended up at Ohio State.
I didn't grow up very religious in like what a traditional sense would be. My mom's Jewish, my father's not Jewish. My mom would take us to synagogue on high holidays, and we'd celebrate Passover and Hanukkah. Going into college, that was like my connection to Judaism, was like understanding some kind of strange burden that I didn't really feel necessarily a part of. I decided it was important for me to marry somebody Jewish. Being in Israel, being on Birthright, Judaism felt special. My freshman year of college, I really didn't do anything that involved other Jewish kids, so that was kind of a significant wish without having a roadmap to get there. But I started to go to Chabad on like Friday nights.
My first time attending OSU Chabad, I was very jarred because Rabbi Zalman is such a ball of energy, whether it's a young college student who's curious about learning the Torah, or if it's a frat student, a frat college bro who just wants to play beer pong and doesn't care about learning anything, he just wants to have fun. Zalman accommodates both, and he makes both feel really welcome. And before meeting him, my only experiences of interacting with Orthodox rabbis, all of them were very serious.
You got to meet lots of different people. It wasn't like, oh, well, only people that were in Greek life, or oh, people that are grad students, or oh, people that were religious. And what was kind of interesting was like so many of them were actually a lot like me.
I would wait impatiently to sit with Sarah and Zalman and Jeff and ask him 100 questions. And he would patiently explain to me his reasoning, his thought process, his understanding of how Judaism interprets my questions.
Some people would even like just fall asleep there. I mean, there were couches, and you weren't kicked out, you know? It was stay as long as you like.
Over time, over my college experience, I became a little bit more and more serious and focused about my Judaism. I became a little bit more inward and less interested in going out and socializing. And so around junior year, I felt I was a little bit, I was very in my head.
We had been friends for years. Long story short, he ended up going down a much more spiritual Jewish path. I ended up falling in love with him. He was not in a place where that was kind of acceptable. I grew very, very upset with Judaism because I felt in my heart that it was Judaism that had taken my best friend from me. I wrote in my notes app on my phone at least 25 questions I had about Judaism, their take on this, their view of that. I marched up to the Chabad house. I walked in and I said, "Hi, I have many questions and I need answers. Who can I talk to?" So I sat down on the couch with Sarah and I proceeded to ask her all of my questions, and she had answers for all of them.
And I started to become closer with Sarah. I remember having a conversation with her about my parents. You know, I asked her, why did Hashem make my parents deaf? And she told me that, you know, really it's not one specific reason, but they were brought in as a light, and they gave that light to me, and through this light we can pass it on to other people.
Devin started going to Shabbat, and we reconnected at Chabad because we were both going to Shabbat. We both became very involved in Chabad. We loved Sarah and Zalman, so we were there all the time.
And I think it was really just because we were finally in the same place again, suddenly having a shared interest in something that previously he had been gung-ho about and I had been completely uninterested and ignorant about, that we came back together.
Date nights on Thursdays, Shabbat on Fridays, and then Shabbat the rest of the day on Saturday. And so 2 out of the 3 days that we would see each other, most of the time was at Chabad.
I remember asking Sarah Deutsch if I could have a volunteer position From there, she offered me a job, and I stayed there at Chabad for 5 years. I loved the people that were going. I loved working with the Deutsches and the Andruzes. I was a student, I was an employee, I was a babysitter. I just felt like I belonged.
We were engaged at the time, and Zhenya got diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Sarah took Zhenya to the mikveh and was with her, combing her hair as it fell out. And, pretty intense moment.
And she, she was there with me. It was just the two of us. And just kind of like you can't really have loose strands of hair. And it was, kind of hard to figure out how to keep all the hair on my head. And we did it. We cried through it, and it was beautiful. It was spiritual, and it was probably my one time throughout my wedding that I felt the most connection with Judaism. Like I was gaining a lot of knowledge and I guess wisdom about Judaism by having wonderful conversations with Sarah and Zalman, but I don't think it truly sunk in the way that the moment of mikvah sunk in. It was personal, it was quiet, and it was just, it felt like I was connecting to Judaism on a different level.
When I graduated school at Ohio State, my whole family came to visit, and they got to see what I had been doing for 6 years. It was the most unbelievable feeling to have them, my whole family and my Chabad Ohio family, and see those two worlds merge. I'm just saying we're so thankful to the Deitch family for hosting and welcoming us to stay at their Chabad house. It was such a wonderful experience with Shabbat dinner and all the other graduates. They were able to impact, these thousands of students and myself. And that impact doesn't just leave with the students. Them impacting one student means that student is going to impact their community, their friends, their family, who can go and then impact others.